remember that this is just a moment. This is just something that'll pass. And if you really feed into the things that you love, and you feed into the things that are true to you and the things that bring you fulfillment, then it'll pass. Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Lerato Ndlovu, Miss LoveLee, to those who know and love me. I am fighting against the clock. The sun is going down at an exponential speed. But this is just the time that I wanted to take and come and sit outside and just have at least one very candid video where, even just like, especially for myself, where I could actually capture my current state of mind and just like revisit these moments and these days, because wow, these dogs are going for it. So I've had a very weird past 2 weeks where I just couldn't seem to get myself to get going. You know, I couldn't get myself to just get up and do the thing, man. You know, I was just too tired. I felt like I had used up all my energy. I was just depleted emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. I was just completely at almost zero, you know, just really tired. And I'm trying to think back and retrace. This dog took my shoe. I'm not even going to stress about it. I'm trying to trace back and just kind of see where those feelings even like started from, or where they came from. But I think I've probably just been very hopeful for a lot of things that, you know, didn't pan out the way that I thought that they would. And I'm not realizing that with certain things, things take time. I'm not realizing that things take time, or I'm now realizing that, you know what, things take time. It doesn't really matter how often you're putting in work. I think what's really important is that you're just putting in the work in the first place, you know. And I thought, if I'm putting in the work and also putting it in very often, then things are going to pan out according to my timeline, when I want them to happen, when I want them to pan out. And they didn't. What I'm really just trying to say is, I think I've been struggling yet again with the idea of just letting things be. And I've been struggling a lot with the idea that things are not going to be what you think they're going to be, but they're always going to be what they were going to be anyways, without your opinion on things, you know. I think that the only effects we have on the way things pan out, or whether or not they're going to pan out, is our efforts towards those things. That's the only control we really have, is our efforts towards things. And then how they pan out and when they pan out is completely out of our control. Anyways, I'm like slipping from what it is that I want to talk about here. I've had a weird past 2 weeks where I just wasn't able to put in any efforts towards my projects, towards my work, towards my art, towards myself. I've just been feeling very exhausted and very tired and sick. And I know that that is definitely a sign to just like tap into the things that will make me feel better. You know, so self-care and, you know, being consistent with like meditating, and being consistent with just like moving around and like having a routine and things like that. And I don't even have a routine. I don't even know what the title of this video is going to be. I just wanted to like talk, you know. I wanted to let it out. And this is the place I'm going to do it. The purpose of this video is because I wanted to sit in a moment where I am addressing the things that I've been feeling the past 2 weeks. And a lot of that has been tired, unmotivated, not happy, just dejected, tired, you know, exhausted really, and just unable to will myself to life, unable to like give myself that push start. And I think I used to maybe look at moments like that as like reason to give in and give up. But nowadays, I think I'm looking at those instances as moments that make you realize what it is that you need, what it is that you need to be doing for yourself. I don't ever want to get into a space where I cannot celebrate my achievements or celebrate like the very, very little things that are building up. Wow. This dog is biting me. I'm sorry. I don't want to get into a space where I'm unable to take note of, appreciate, and recognize the moments that build my character and build me and build my dreams, and the moments that highlight what it is that I am lacking in my life and what it is that I need. So obviously these past 2 weeks when I was going through it, I couldn't put myself in a state of mind where I'm realizing that you're feeling these things because there is a need for that. And obviously when you're going through ish, you don't rationalize it. You just go through it. But problem with just like going through it and not trying to analyze it and label it and understand it is that, when are you going to stop going through it? When are you going to realize that it's just a thing you're going through and not a part of your life? But anyways, I feel like there's really something that I really wanted to say here, and I'm taking a while to get there. So even though I had been feeling shitty for the past 2 weeks, I am feeling better right now. And I think a lot of my feelings now, or like these days, or especially today, come from me realizing that a moment really is a moment, but if you feed into it, it becomes your reality, right? Your very own reality that might not even be true, that might not even be real. It'll be your own observed reality observed by you. And I don't want to feed into like emotions that make me feel like there is something that I lack in my life, or there is something to actually be like sad about or like distraught over. Or I don't ever want to get into a space where I feel like the things that I want are not worth me getting up and getting them, even when I feel shitty. I want to be in a space where even when I feel the things that I feel, I can still come into a state of mind where I remember that this is just a moment. This is just something that'll pass. And if you really feed into the things that you love, and you feed into the things that are true to you and the things that bring you fulfillment, then it'll pass. This thing that you're feeling, it'll pass. And of course, it's easier said than done when you're in it, when you're feeling it, when you're sitting there. It doesn't feel like it's going to pass. It feels like it could go on forever. And it really could if you feed into it like that. And I think one way that I want to, or a method that I want to implement into my life, I feel like there's a better word than method, but I'll just say method. A method that I'd like to implement into my life to help me just like be more present and to be rid of negative emotions is just really tapping into being grateful for my actual reality and not my perceived reality. So what I mean by that is, even though my perceived reality of just my life and my state of mind these past 2 weeks hasn't been amazing, hasn't been that great, I've been very tired and all these other things, my actual reality is that I'm home and it is peaceful and it is warm and it is full of love. This is the place where I have a mother. Well, I have a mother in general, but this is the place where I get to see my mother. I get to be around her. I get to talk to her and laugh with her, and that's very comforting, you know? Yeah, but this is also the place where I come to find refuge. This is a place where I can be comfortable. This is a place where I get to explore and create freely, you know? Because there's not much out here. There's really not much out here, and that contributes a lot to the peace that is in this neighborhood, which I'm very grateful for. You know, it's very quiet, and I'm glad that I can exist in a space where I can listen to my thoughts. I can label my thoughts. I can compartmentalize my thoughts. And if my thoughts are too overwhelming, I can let them go. But I forget this. As people, we forget this. When we're overwhelmed, when we are stressed out, when we're having a bad day, we forget that the things that are weighing you down, especially if it's internal, you can let it go. In fact, if it's making you sick, you should let it go. Try as best as you can to find a way to let it go. You know, because you're feeling the thing, but the thing isn't you. You know, you're perceiving the thing, but the thing isn't your reality. Unless you declare it as such, you know. Don't even know if I'm making a lot of sense, but I think what I'm really just trying to say, especially like to my future self, when I do watch this video back, is those moments that were so painful, that were so sad, that were so confusing, that was so tiring. These very moments that, you know, I'm currently in, these moments were and are vital. And I get that. I can get how they can be vital. I get it. Because these are the moments that give you the tools, or that allow you to build the tools to be stronger and to be a better person and to just navigate through life differently. These are also the moments that make you realize that a change is imperative. It's necessary because you have to survive. It's your sole purpose as a human being to survive and then to thrive as best as you can. And we cannot let a moment, however long that moment even is, you know, because I'm not opposed to like feeling the thing. We have to be human beings who are strong enough to feel the things that we feel, especially if those things are bad, you know, and they just happen to us, or like they come out of nowhere. You know, anything could alter your mood. We need to be people who are strong enough to feel those things, to realize that what those things are, but then also to be strong enough to find solutions around those things, especially if they don't make you feel good, you know? It's like your birthright to feel good, you know? I was listening to a Cleo Soul song today, and at the end of the song, she said, God loves it when you smile. And it's like, did she lie though? She didn't lie. If you are really a person who believes in like the powers of the universe, or like in God, or like just a being that is higher than you and greater than you, then you have to realize that such a being or such an energy wouldn't want you to not smile. We go through trials and tribulations because they're part of character building, because they're part of the things of this world. You know, you cannot live without experiencing the things of this world. There is no such thing. There is no living without actually living. And if you're going to live, you're going to experience some ish, you know. But just because you're experiencing the things of the world, it doesn't mean that the world is against you. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're standing alone. It doesn't mean that you're done for. No, you're experiencing those things because you're also supposed to work through it, and you're meant to navigate through them and realize your purpose and your gifts that are going to help you be better, that are going to shape you. You know, you're experiencing those trials and tribulations because that is how you find who you truly are. That is how you build your character. That is how you develop coping mechanisms, but also that is how you realize what kind of a person you are. Is when you're faced with challenges, that is when you realize that when faced with a challenge, I'm a person who clamps up. Or when faced with challenges, I'm a person who goes for it. Or when I'm faced with challenges, I'm a person who doesn't know what to do. You know, but even in realizing all those things, that's how you grow. That's when and that's how you grow, you know? I guess what I'm really just trying to say is that today I wanted to sit outside and I wanted to feel the sun on my skin, which I was feeling earlier before the sun went down. But I did start recording this video a bit late, so no surprises that the sun is down right now. I'm just hoping this video is not dark AF. If it is, such is life. I'm not even going to worry about that, you know. I'm tired, mostly because of the idea of having to overthink things and having to, or just thinking that things always have to be so perfect and that things have to align because I want them to. But it's like, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Sometimes a video will have a clear direction, and sometimes I'll just be talking and saying whatever is on my mind. And that's fine. I want to be in a space where I can capture my entire essence, who I really am, who I truly am. At the core, just on a random day, on a good day and on a bad day. I want my future self to look back and be like, I'm this person today because I allowed myself to fully exist in every moment. And I thrived through it. And I grew through it. Anyways, the sun has gone down. And I feel like I'll probably make another video about what it is that I was really trying to say here today. But I think more than anything, what I just wanted to remind myself, especially with this video, is that when times really do get tough, it's very important to just like pour into the things that give you strength. And it's going to be hard, you know, to even get up and do those things, but it's very important just for survival, you know, but also just as a way to like shift your mindset from that negative space into a better space, a more proactive, progressive state of mind. When things are most hard, maybe just start with the things that are easiest to you, but don't fully just give into the moment and not do anything at all. I don't know, man. Like, I guess there's just always something to be grateful for, is what I am really trying to say. You know, my perceived reality was shitty, but my actual reality is that there's so much to be grateful for, because I could be complaining and crying about different things that I'm blessed enough to not have to worry about right now. And that then gives me the time to plan for the days when finding peace won't be as easy as coming to just sit outside and listen to the birds chirp and watch my dogs play and listen to the swoosh of the wind. You know, these days are preparing me for those days. You know, better days are always on the horizon, and I think that is definitely something to look forward to. That is an idea that definitely keeps me going. The fact that even when things are shitty, I can always look forward to the fact that it won't always be that way. And I know that it won't always even be this way, where it's actually quite calm and quite peaceful and safe. You know, nothing really is a sure bet except for your chosen state of mind. If you choose that you want to be in a better state of mind, then surely you can achieve that. But you know that there's like work that needs to be put in for you to get there. And when things are really tough, those are the days when you need to tap in the most and try even harder to get back to that place where things are better. You know, doing the little things that add up to the bigger things. Not because I feel like it, but because I need it. Because it's what keeps me alive. You know? I don't know if any of this makes sense, but even if this video doesn't make sense, I'm literally just gonna patch it up together and just put it out anyways, because I just kind of need to know. I just need to know that I had a day like this, where it was very unplanned. The sun went down quicker than I don't even know. And I just wanted to speak. And I allowed myself to do it here. With no direction. Video probably looks shitty. I probably look like a little bit of a crackhead. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm allowed at least a couple shitty days, especially on here. Yeah. But let's not get into a space where the realities we create for ourselves are so negative and so unbearable that we cannot enjoy the little things that get us by, and even the big things. You know, let's just never get in a space where a moment turns into reality, turns into a shitty time on earth. If you never do anything, at least do the things that are fulfilling. At least do the things that will make you feel better. Because there is always something that will make you feel better. You just have to show willingness, and you have to just do the thing. You know? So when all energy is depleted, at least save a little. Have a reserve tank just to do that one thing that's going to make you feel better. Even when you really don't want to. But just try. You know, as long as you're alive, as long as you're trying, then in my eyes, you're thriving. So yeah, this is kind of like a note even to like my future self. I want to have less shitty days, so I'm going to have less shitty days. I sat outside for long enough to count at least 5 different bird species that we have in the trees surrounding our house. I know there's probably more, but I thought, how quaint, how cute, you know, what a nice thing to be aware of. The fact that we have so many bird species and they're just like going about their day, chirping, doing their thing, living their life. And you're stuck in a moment. And you're out here feeling isolated, and you're isolating yourself. And you don't want to see people, and you don't want to get up and go do something. I don't know. These are the things that I've been thinking. Like, there's this on one hand, but then there's also that. And it's like, which one are you going to feed into? Are you going to feed into like the good feelings, or are you going to feed into the bad feelings? And I would hope that you want to feed into the good feelings, because the good feelings feel good. And that's what we're trying to do. That is the mindset that I'm trying to cultivate throughout my life with everything that I do. You know, I'm trying to implement that in my real life, in my work life, in my whatever, just everything. You know, I want to say that like I'm a well-rounded human being because I created that version of me, that reality of me. You know? I speak so positively and only want to speak positively on my podcast because that is the mindset I want to cultivate for myself. You can be aware of the bad things and bad thoughts or whatever they exist. But I want to tap into the positive. I want to speak on the positive, and then I want to live the positive. You know? And it's not easy. It's not easy. But I'm saying, be realistic and then look into the places that feel good, into the things that feel good, and look into how things could always be better, because things could always be better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just never want to be in a space where I feel ungrateful, because as long as I have breath in my lungs, there's so much to be grateful for. As long as I am breathing. And I want to always remember that. So this will just be my video that reminds me that when the going gets tough, bitch, you better get going. You better get your ass up. Yeah, better days, bro. Better days are on the way. Better just keep living life while we wait. That was a famous poet by the name of Naya Sultana. I hope it's Sultana. It's like Sultana, and I'm like Sultana. But anyways, I hope this just reminds you to just be grateful, you know? Love, light, blessings, and you got this. Mwah.